Okay, we're on the eastern limit of the Vouvray appellation here in the village of Noisy, and we're stood in a recently planted parcel of Chenin Blanc, planted last year. As you can see, the vines have yet to be established, fully established, and there'll be no fruit taken from these vines until probably 2023. Because under the regulations you are not permitted to take off fruit until after the third year. And this parcel is a trial plot for a local grower. He has planted a lot of a seed mixture between the rows. As you can see, it appears rather untidy.
Yes, but it's natural.
But it's perfectly natural. Leguminous crops, so a lot of clover will be included in the seed mix, which clover being a plant which returns nitrogen to the soil, will aid the growth of the vines. But also there are flowers which encourage butterflies and other insects.
Yeah, there's been a big push in Vouvray and generally in the region and in the Loire to increase biodiversity. That takes all sorts of different forms. Obviously having flowers encourages insects, natural predators. We obviously don't need insects for pollination in the vine because vines are self-pollinating. But it's really nice to see a parcel like this, which has been farmed, it's newly planted, but the rest of the vineyards farmed by this grower are farmed in a more conventional way. And we are seeing a big push away from using chemicals in the vineyard and minimal use of herbicides in particular. So that's why it looks like it's very messy. And we've had a lot of rain in June. We've had 175 millimetres of rain in 1 month. Normally we'd expect something like 50. Last year we had about 20, but of course last year was a very hot, very, very different vintage year. So this year has been a bit of a nightmare for growers, to be honest. Very pleased that I'm just talking about it and not actually farming myself, because it's been tough, hasn't it, Nigel?
It has been tough.
Yeah.
And in terms of the just to go back to the seed mixture, so in terms of the additional benefits that you get from planting something like this is that you will work in all this green foliage into the soil, which will improve the soil structure. And this may be done over several years, and that in turn improves the drainage.
Yes, because there's quite a bit of clay in some of these parcels as well, and
yeah.
I'm not going to show you any parcels because I don't, but there is quite a bit of standing water in some areas which are less well drained. So something like this is really good for that. And generally the landscape, we moved here in 2019, so in the 2 years that we've been living here, this is our third sort of season, we lived in Anjou for 13 years before this, we have seen the landscape, the colour of the landscape change as people move away from using herbicide more and more, and that's a joy to see.